I mean, I know we've been saying it's going to get better, it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to be like amazing in 2025, but I think as the year progresses, things will get better. And just, keep going, keep learning, keep being a student of the game, listen to podcasts like yours. And there's just a lot of free information out there to help LOs.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Loan Officer Growth Podcast. Have a special guest today, Dave Holland. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
How you doing, Richard?
Doing good. Dave is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's the owner of HMA Mortgage, and he is also a producer. So, Dave, I don't know how many years we've known each other, but we've kind of met each other at the Freedom Club event, I think, and through MMA, Mortgage Marketing Animals. Has it been a few years?
Probably since 2000. I joined in 2018, so I'm sure I met you right around that time, from 2018, 19, somewhere in there.
Very cool, very cool. How's your day going?
Going good, rolling off Christmas. So it's that weird time of year where you're trying to set up meetings for early 25 with realtors and financial planners. So
right.
It's going good. It's going good.
Cool. So do you work pretty much through the end of the year setting up your 2025, your new year?
Yeah. I mean, I always beat my chest and talk a good game on business plan, but I got to look inward, and I do have a business plan. I do have goals for 2025, but this year I'm going to tape them to in my office. I'm so going to look at them every day.
Oh, nice.
Seeing them up there is a powerful thing, as you know.
Yes, very, very true. So well, that's cool. Let's kind of go backwards. How did you tell us a little bit about how you got started, how long you've been in the business, just kind of basic stuff.
Yeah, I started in 2000 right out of college. And I always joke, I thought I was going to be an attorney, and then I started studying for the LSTATs. And I realized pretty quickly I'd make a mediocre attorney at best. So then, just out of sheer dumb luck, I got a job in Pittsburgh, $1,000 a month in health insurance. So even in 2000, $1,000 a month didn't go a long way. So I lived in my mother's childhood home in the basement with my elderly grandparents for a year.
Wow.
Which was, which at the end of the day, Richard, was a humbling experience, but it was also pretty cool.
Right.
My grandma's still alive. She turned 99 last week.
Wow.
So that was it made me both humble and hungry, right? So I worked really, really hard because, again, living off $1,000 a month is hard.
Right.
Just kind of progressed from there, started producing. I started HMA Mortgage, used to be called Holland Mortgage Advisors, till we rebranded in 2005, and then slowly built the company up to where it is today. So,
so your company's been around quite a while.
Yeah, it'll be 20 years this spring.
Wow, that I've been in the business for 20 years, so that's cool. Yeah. Very cool.
A little broker shop, and we kind of built ourselves up from there. And then I was always a decent producer during good refi booms of, say, like 2010 or 12 or 16. I'd be around 40 to 60 million. But I was doing it all by myself.
Right.
I had a good processor, but I didn't want to let go of a lot of stuff. So doing cost sheets, working evenings and weekends, and part of a lot of your listeners know what that's like. You burn yourself out pretty quickly.
Right.
I mean, I did it for 2008 till 2018 until I joined MMA and Freedom Club and found there's a better way. Now I have a whole entire team around me.
Very nice. Very nice. We have a little time. Tell me a little bit about your team. Like, how's your team set up?
So I have 4 licensed loan officers. I call them loan partners, who only work with me and my realtor partners. They may trip over a transaction, friend, family, for a purchase or a refi, but generally they're set up just to work with my people. Right. So we have a whole kind of funnel system. Deal comes in, borrow comes in the front door, either through a team email address, which everyone has, or We have a team phone number, which is text friendly, and it rings to my office if it's not answered live. And then everyone gets my voicemails, everyone gets my emails. So it kind of takes me out of the equation. So if I'm not available doing a podcast with you or in a meeting with a realtor, business doesn't stop.
Right.
So a lot of my realtors, like it. The ones who weren't a big fan of it, I don't work with anymore generally. But then I have someone on call till 8 o'clock at every night, weekdays, and on the weekends I have someone on call from 10 a.m. 6 p.m. And I'm always kind of hovering. It's kind of my personality. I want to make sure things go smooth, but business transacts on a regular basis. I don't talk to a ton of customers anymore. My team handles that, but I'm out there driving the business in, meeting with realtors, and then running the company and generally working on company initiatives.
So and I know this will be just kind of like a rough estimate, but let's say out of every 10 realtors that you meet and you feel like it's a good fit, out of every 10, how many say, Dave, I have to only talk to you and my clients have to only talk to you? Like, how many are there actually that feel that way?
Probably 2 out of every, it's probably 20%.
Okay.
Some of them just don't know what they don't know. They don't know the added benefit of having a team.
Exactly.
Like, I can only work so many hours in the day. Like, I remember I lost a pretty big agent maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. And she called me like at 11:15 p.m. on a Sunday. Called and texted. And I generally don't sleep with my phone in my room. It wouldn't matter because I go to bed like at 9:30 anyway.
Right.
Like, why don't you pick up? Why don't you get back to me? I'm like, I was sleeping. She said, well, like I was physically not conscious. She goes, I need a loan officer to pick up the phone call at 11 o'clock. I'm like, I'm not your guy. It was great knowing you. I hung up the phone. I mean, if someone's expectations are that I'm going to get back to them at 11:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, that's not someone I want to be aligned with.
Right.
But some realtors do want to have only one loan officer contact. They all have my personal cell phone, but I just want to direct them to my team so they can get quick, efficient service, right?
Which is
move them to the front of the line.
Yeah, which is most agents. They just want to be taken care of. They want their clients to be taken care of.
Sure.
And when they see the process, I think that does make a big difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I tell my agents, if you have like doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, where they want to talk to me, that's fine. I'll take the first phone call or two, get that person comfortable with my team and my system, and then hand them off to someone within my team.
Right.
And then, someone like that who's a high touch customer, I also give them my personal cell if they want to chat with me. But that's few and far between. Generally, people just want to talk to someone, get great service, and feel like they're generally cared for and taken care of.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about what's something right now that's exciting you? What are you working on that's exciting?
Just think it's cliche. It's a New Year's coming up, right?
Yep.
So just kind of getting out there, and I think I have between this week and next week, and I've not set all of them. I think I probably have 7 or 8 lunch meetings or coffee meetings. So just kind of like reconnecting with realtors that I've lost touch with, reconnecting realtors that I did transactions with in 2024. And just generally, just for some reason, I just feel reinvigorated going after it. So
nice.
Yeah. And I sometimes forget I don't want to say it's easy, but it's not hard if you make the effort and make phone calls. And I sometimes forget that until I start making them again. So
you're busy. You're super busy. You've got a lot of branches. You're running the company. How many hours a week do you make outbound phone calls?
Probably 4.
Okay. And you're calling
may not seem like a lot, but when you actually make 4 hours of phone calls, you can get a lot accomplished.
Right.
And I'm not including like text messages to realtors or emails. I know those are I appreciate those are lower levels of communication. But when I'm on the phone for 4 hours, I can get a lot done. And that doesn't include meeting face-to-face meetings as well, too.
Right, right. Okay. And so, and most of that is real estate agents and financial advisors, you said?
Yeah, maybe like 10% financial advisors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few loan officers recently that have talked about wanting to kind of go towards the financial advisor route. What would you tell them starting off fresh doing that?
I think it's a great idea. I think there's less competition around financial planners. Not as many mortgage folks are calling on them. There's certainly a center of influence. A lot of for first-time home buyers, they'll sometimes call their parents financial planners. I think it's just picking up the phone and calling, making sure you have a good script. I've been blessed just to know a lot of financial planners over the years, right? So I've not done any cold calls. It's all been relatively warm calls.
Okay.
Just picking up the phone and doing it, and just networking and finding the financial planners. Obviously, divorce attorneys are great opportunities as well too.
Okay. Okay. And then but you make all your own calls.
I do. Yeah, I mean, my team will sometimes help with the DSP, the Daily Success Program,
Yep.
which I'm sure a lot of your listeners are familiar with. But I like to make at least twice during the transactions, reach out to both agents and call them to make sure I'm there as well too. And then, I had a call with someone this morning. I said, "Hey, Matthew, it was great chatting with you. I'd love to grab coffee. How's your schedule next Thursday or Friday?" So we're meeting. So it's just always reminding myself to stay in front of the realtors, ask for the business, as well as if I don't know, I'm trying to get in front of them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So agents that you've worked with for years, you still ask for the business with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not always in a very direct way, but something like, "Hey, Richard, did anyone I should be talking to that you're taking out the next couple of weeks?" Just casual.
Yep.
Yeah. Or with agents that I don't know. I love working on this transaction, Richard. I love to do it again. How can we make that happen? Let's grab coffee and talk about it. And I get a lot of no's, right?
Right. Right.
It's part of the game.
But the reason I ask is because sometimes we as loan officers, we feel like, well, we've been working with this agent for X amount of years. They know what I do. I don't need to ask. And that's
Sure.
such a bad, yeah, not a good thing because we don't know who else is asking them too.
Everyone is, right? Like I've lost a couple agents the last few years, and it's not as if, in fact, I was just talking with Irene, my coach, about this today at a coaching call with her. And it's not as if a transaction ever went bad, or I ever had a bad rapport with the agent. Like everything has gone smooth.
Right.
I think someone else was just paying attention to them more, took them to lunch, and I slowly got, chiseled away until like they stopped referring me business.
Right.
And every relationship has its season, right? Sometimes that season's a year, sometimes that season's 15 years.
Oh, true.
So, and I guess I made my peace with that. I have to go and get more agents or try to drag them back.
Right. Well, I like your focus for the new year is rekindling those relationships and setting up appointments with agents that you've done business with, even if it was just a deal, during the year. So I like that a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you're pretty successful and, success usually happens in small steps. What are some of the steps you've taken that have brought you success?
I mean, take away, obvious things like being a student of the game, right? Working hard, understanding programs and guidelines. In our business, that's, I think, a given. You have to do it. I guess one of the biggest, I went from like doing 50 million a year to doing 90 million and then over 100 million to almost 200 million. And a lot of that was coaching, scaling my business, and getting help, right? Getting out of my own way.
Right.
before I was doing everything. I was doing cost sheets, talking to customers, running AUS, pricing loans. I don't know how to run AUS. I haven't done it for 15 years. I've never been in our pricing engine. We switched from Mortec to Optimal Blue 3 years ago. I never figured how to do it. We switched from Calyx to Encompass a couple of years ago.
Right.
I don't know how to do a cost sheet. So, some of your listeners may laugh at that, but I have a team that can do that for me, right? I know I can look at a loan at a high level and understand it and know some options to put, but I guess getting that in my own way, getting help, getting an assistant. Got one assistant, then I got several assistants. Implementing some good technology to assist as well too. So like all the little things.
Right.
Something I learned and I was bad about was building half-built bridges. I'd have all these little projects going on, and I would never take anything to completion. So now I really try to focus on one project, take the completion, and then move on to the next.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and then getting a good coach and good mentor. That was I read something somewhere. Try to get someone who is 5 years ahead of what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
learn from that.
Yep, love that. Love it. I think everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a coach. It is so important. Even if you're a loan officer listening and you're closing 2-3 loans a month, get a coach. Get somebody that can kind of, like you said, help you get out of your own way and focus on the things that really matter.
Yeah, and really, no one taught us how to be. It taught me how to be a loan officer. I guess no one taught me how to be a loan officer. I think my first day at work was, here's a calculator.
Right.
This is called a 1003. Here's the phone. Start calling people, make some money. Right? Yeah. And you just kind of, I read the FHA, is it 4001? Like I read that. It was blue at the time. And I would just read stuff about mortgages nonstop. Like, so no one really taught us in any formal way. Like I didn't go to college to be a loan officer.
Right.
And I certainly didn't have any formal sales training either. So by listening to podcasts such as yours and just learning, immersing yourself in the business, you'll pick up a lot of information. And I think everyone should have, if it's group coaching, like at our company, we offer group coaching to all the LOs who want it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's definitely helpful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So what is I don't want to ask any weird questions, but what does your day look like? When you wake up, tell us how Dave Holland tackles his day from the minute you wake up.
Yeah. Good question. So I told you I have 4 little kids, 12, 10, 8, 6, right? So I need some quiet time. So I try to get up. I set my alarm for 5:15. Okay. Like I do little things, like I plan out my day the night before, at least I try to. I'm not always good about it. So I don't have decision fatigue during the day. And I usually try to read, not always good about it, for about a half an hour to 45 minutes. I want to read 10 to 15 pages a day. So that way I'll get through a dozen books a year. And I read like self-help books and like business books.
Yep.
And then I read like historical fiction. So I'll read a lot, right? And then I'll try to clear my emails. By that time, my kids have woken up generally. And then I always try to get a workout in, half an hour to an hour. And then I have a standing call every day at 9:00 with someone in my company or my business partners, right? So I usually go from like 9 to 5 or 6. Then I'm driving kids around at night. But I'm a big fan of time blocking during the day. I always don't stick to my schedule, but I really try to time block. And if I have calls to make or lunches to make, or meetings, I really try to focus on that. Work from home in the morning, and I either try to do a coffee or lunch and then go to the office in the afternoon.
Very nice. Very cool. I like that. Great routines, great habits, it sounds like.
Yeah. Go to bed early-ish, 9:30, 10.
Yep. Yeah, I'm early. I used to be a late night. Now I'm early to bed and early to get up.
How do you get up in the morning?
Usually 5, 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. little bit different than you. I work out first. I've listened to books now while I'm working out.
Okay.
My eyesight, I don't know what it is about not being able to focus reading like I used to. It's really weird. But man, I cannot believe our time flew by. We're gonna have to get
Great.
you on the podcast again sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to. Let's get a specific subject, and then I'll I'd love to do it again, Richard.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. One more question. What words of encouragement do you have for LOs right now in the kind of the current times that we're in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not great. But yeah, I guess two things. Like we're refinancing at some point. I thought we'd be there. We're baking a big refinance pie, right? So there'll be opportunities in the future. Loan officers are leaving the business, so there'll be less competition. And it's always darkest before the dawn, right?
Yep, love that.
I mean, I know we've been saying it's going to get better, it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to be like amazing in 2025, but I think as the year progresses, things will get better. And just, keep going, keep learning, keep being a student of the game, listen to podcasts like yours. And there's just a lot of free information out there to help LOs. And make sure you join some sort of community for positivity, because this can be it's gonna be a great business, but the last couple of years have shown it can be a very tough business as well too.
Yeah, that's great advice, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you a lot. So thank you so much for being on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Anytime.
All right. Well, see you guys next week. This podcast, I think it's going to be out after my book is released. So if you want, check it out. It's worklessgrowmore.com, worklessgrowmore.com. And it's your guide to using virtual assistants to streamline your mortgage business. So again, man, Dave, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
And we'll talk again.
Okay. Thank you so much.